the question that I get asked the most, and that I have also had, is if it's bad to think while you're meditating, or if you have to get rid of all your thoughts. And I just want to put everyone at ease. You do not have to get rid of your thoughts. In fact, I think the argument could be made that getting rid of our thoughts and repressing them only comes back to bite us later, right? So we are not trying to get rid of all our thoughts. But when we sit in meditation, we're also not just shutting our eyes and thinking about our grocery list or whatever other thoughts might come up in our head and just sort of, following our train of consciousness. We are finding a middle ground between pushing our thoughts away and just tumbling after them. And I really like the way Pema Chodron, who's a Buddhist nun and scholar, talks about this. She talks about interrupting our thoughts and being able to see our thoughts and interrupt them rather than either shove them to the side or follow after them. So the way that we're going to practice interrupting our thoughts today is we're going to name them. It's not saying name it to tame it, right? So we are going to use our body, which is always conveniently here in the present, even though our mind does some time traveling sometimes. And we're going to rest our attention on our breath in our body. And then, because we're human, a thought's going to come up. And that's fine. It's not bad. But we're going to see the thought and we're going to give it a label. We're going to name it. When we see that we are thinking, that our mind has wandered away from our body and our breath, we're just going to name it thinking. And then we're going to bring our attention back into our breath. And with this practice of naming and returning, it's also really, I want to offer an encouragement that we also practice some self-compassion with this, that we are encouraging of ourselves in this practice. We are all going to have thoughts come up, most likely. It's been my experience always. And maybe rather than having any criticism or cringing when we realize we're thinking, we could even maybe celebrate that we're here doing this practice, that we are giving ourselves this attention and this love of showing up and practicing and being with ourselves, right? Because attention is really a form of love. So when we notice that we're thinking, right, it's an opportunity to give it a label, interrupt it, and then return back to the present moment. And this is a really, I think, powerful practice because we are creating a new habit, right? The practice that we're doing in meditation is like going to the gym, right? We are building new muscles. And the payoff is that then when we're out living our life, doing our thing, we have this new muscle of being able to interrupt our thoughts so that we don't have to just do whatever we habitually do, of either pushing them away or following after them, right? But we have the ability to interrupt them and pause. And in that pause, we can then make a choice and choose how we want to respond. And that is super powerful. And in fact, there's some science showing that when we do this, when we pause and maybe do something that is our normal habit, we are building new neural pathways in our brains. And I think that's really awesome and something to be celebrated. So thank you guys for practicing and being here and doing it. So we'll do the practice. You can take a moment to set yourself up in a comfortable, stable position. If it feels good, you can roll out your neck, your shoulders. We'll just spend a little bit of time settling our bodies and getting comfortable. And then taking a moment to feel ourselves connected to the earth, the floor, our seat. Noticing where our body is being supported. taking a moment to feel into those points of connection, feeling the pressure between our body and the support that is rising up to meet it. Maybe noticing if we're leaning to the left or the right, front or the back. And if it's comfortable, finding a centered, balanced position. And then bringing some attention to your feet, allowing or inviting the muscles of your toes to relax, inviting all the muscles along the soles of your feet to soften. If they're connected to the floor, inviting them to soften and melt into the floor below. Bringing some attention up around our ankles, to our calves and our shins. Inviting those muscles to also relax, release. And continuing to bring attention up around our knees, into our thighs, quads, hamstrings. Inviting these muscles to let go. Nothing to do for the duration of this practice. And invite your legs to relax. And bringing attention into our bottoms, our hips. Noticing points of connection, where our body is being supported. Noticing gravity doing its work, holding us in place. Bringing attention into our lower abdomen and our pelvis. Into our belly. Knowing that we often carry stress and worry in our belly. And giving a little bit of extra attention to this area. Bringing a little bit of curiosity into our body. And noticing our own experience. If there's any tightness or clenching. Without judgment, just bringing awareness. And bringing some awareness into our chest and upper back. And onto our shoulders. Another area that often holds our tension. Again, just noticing. If it feels right for your body in this moment. Inviting your shoulders to drop away from your ears. Allowing gravity to assist your shoulders in resting. And bringing some attention into your arms, your upper arms, your elbows, your forearms, and your wrists. And then moving attention into our hands, inviting the muscles in our palms, our thumbs, and our fingers to grow soft, relax. And bringing attention back to our throat and our neck. And moving our awareness up to our jaw, inviting the muscles at the hinge of our jaw to relax, softening around the corners of our mouth, releasing our forehead, softening the muscles around our eyes, relaxing our cheeks. And bringing some awareness to our breath, not needing to change our breath or manipulate our breath, just noticing our breath as it is. Noticing where we feel the breath in our body right now. Noticing temperature, texture of the air. Noticing our inhales are different than our exhales. Inviting the subtle movements of our breath to absorb our attention. When you notice that your mind has drifted away from your breath, use this as an opportunity to interrupt your thinking and name your thinking, and then with love, gently return your attention back to your breath. letting the movement of our breath absorb our attention. Noticing our minds, interrupting any thinking, and gently returning back into our body in this present moment. When your mind wanders, name it, give it the label thinking, and then use this as an opportunity to build this habit of pausing, interrupting your thought, and coming back to the present moment. Once again, being absorbed by your breath. And then, as you're ready, you can bring some micro movements back into your fingers and toes. Any movement that feels good for you. Opening your eyes as you're ready. And unrelated to the meditation, I will just share that I'm wearing the same outfit that I wore yesterday for yesterday's meditation. This came up earlier as a sort of environmentally friendly action. And unless I stain on it, I will wear it again on Friday. So we'll see what happens.